Hey guys, we're back working on this Gibson Epiphone Strat, otherwise known as the Fat S210BK, and we seem to have some string or tremolo bar spring, I should say, instability. So I found an old spring here from a guitar. I think it was new and it just got a little bit rusty. Just to add a fourth one to it to see if it'll add some stability to it. If this doesn't fix, it going floating too high and going too low, like it settles over time, then maybe we just won't float the tremolo bar at all. Let's just take this whammy bar off of here real fast, and we'll have to take the back off again. All right. Always fun watching somebody take screws out of a back plate. Probably seen me do this a few times already on the other videos, but hey, we got to have some a little bit of time, a little bit of content here where it's not like 30 seconds and go, right? All right, now as you can see, it's 3 springs. This is how usually they come from the factory. People go like really heavy on the gauge, they add more or whatever. When you do the 3 spring setup, you usually angle the 2 outermost ones and go straight on the middle one. So when you do 4, you obviously have to have them kind of all balanced there. What I mean is that spring has to go here, and this spring here goes to the one, let's see if we can see it, right there. And to balance it, this guy has to move over one, and the other one will move over to there. All right, so there's 4 springs. That's how you do like a 4-spring one. And we can see how it goes from here, I guess. And we may not know on this video unless we wait 2 or 3 days to finish it, and that is because it could settle like the other ones. We don't know if it's going to settle, if that's enough pressure, or if we need a 5th spring there. And the tremolo bar already went down just bad, but there is a little bit of a tremolo action there, so maybe that's 1/8 of an inch or about right. We just have to see. So we have to see if it's going to settle like that. Let's tune it up and all and see what happens. So I tried to tune this guy up yesterday when Natalie's mom was here, because this one has, the newest string. So I thought it would sound, the best. But I figured I could tune it up really fast. It would work for a while before it went wonky. But as soon as I tuned it up, 10 seconds later, it was all like all out of tune again. And it's kind of embarrassing, but hey, we need to get it right? If I can actually get these screws lined up here in the holes, just off like 1/8 of an inch or so they're not going in sometimes, but I think I got it lined up now. Last screw, and all we need to do now is tune it up. So I am trying to do this, and the house is going crazy here. Kids are just going nuts. But I don't even know if you can hear this. It's probably not perfect, but very close. Pretty much in tune. I still need to intonate it and all a little bit. So that was probably hard to hear. Nighttime, we were getting the kids a bath. They just got out of the shower. Everybody's frustrated, and end of the day stuff, tired, loud, and you probably still hear kids in the background trying to resist sleep. So I couldn't crank the amp up too high. It was actually up kind of like medium to medium low, and we're on a lavalier mic and didn't have like the Shure SM57 on the amp or anything like that. Just tried to get a fast video, and Everything went nuts. Even though you guys probably didn't hear it that great, it was in tune. We tuned it up fairly easily, and it didn't go wonky in like a minute or so. It still seems like it's in tune, an hour or so later. We'll only know about, is the tremolo going to go back or rise, on its own in the next, 1, 2, 3 days or whenever. So what are my, what have I noticed here? I would say that the tone has improved. The tone has gotten beefier. And even with the bridge pickup, which, usually has the highest frequency, sound, it had a super more beefy sound on the regular, preset settings on the Spider, Line 6 Spider 3 amplifier. So very warm, very almost kind of 7-string guitar sound. You add that bass string on there, and it's very, very much more low end. As far as the fill itself, just adding that fourth spring, it gave it so much. You could feel the increased tension from the springs in the tremolo block to the medium gauge springs. You can feel it. It feels different. They're not being as pliable. Would that be the word? They're not stretching as far when you're playing it. They're stretching as easy. So it's a little tiny bit harder to play, but I think maybe that is what it needed. And of course, it's a lot harder to, look at there. I'm putting some putting some pressure on there. That's fine though, and it's still floating. I guess we'll do an update video if it either goes out of super out of tune frequently, or the tremolo bar, goes down or up between now and the next 2 or 3 days. And if that doesn't happen, and if everything's fine, we'll just update you in about 2 to 3 days and say we can move forward with the next step, which is probably going to be to put a new nut on it, then adjust the action, the intonation, and whatever else comes next. Maybe getting some tools to get those sharp frets. Every fret on both sides is sharp, so we need to take care of that. Polish the fretboard, and then maybe, just maybe, figure out what we can do to rearrange the pick guard, or replace it if we so desire, or want to attempt doing that. When it comes to spending like money, even if it's a fairly cheap set of tools, whether I go to Harbor Freight, Temu, Amazon, or whatever for like nut slot files, or some cheaper pick guards, everything, I have to think about what I'm going to spend, what kind of budget I have. And we're living life, we're not getting paid for a YouTube. We have 3 kids to take care of, all kinds of expenses. Everything has gone up in the last 2 or 3 years. So even spending $5, $10, $20, $30, sometimes it has to wait a while. So we'll see, because we got other YouTube projects, other guitars we're working on. And I'm looking, I made a video earlier today looking for like possibly a coarse pedal upgrade for the Fender Hot Rod DeVille 2x12 amplifier, to put in the effects loop there. And I need new strings for the classic guitar. I need new strings, I think, for both of my other electric guitars. I'm considering getting like extra light gauge strings potentially for the Guild 12-string acoustic guitar, and other like YouTube production value upgrades. We really need some dual wireless lavalier mics, if not triple, and green screens and lighting and all that good stuff. if this guitar did, was going wacky and, out of tune, like suddenly still after putting that spring in there, and if it didn't have such a different feel and the tension and all, and such a better, beefier sound, I would not, or maybe what I should say is, based on what I see, I think it's better. I think it's going to work out. I don't think I'll need a fifth spring, and the only question is, am I happy tonality wise with these medium gauge strings? Do I want to try to move to something with a little bit higher pitch, especially on the high E and the low E? Or do I like that? Again, when I did other videos, I say I have different guitars and different styles. This could be one that has that kind of beefy, bassy low end, and that could just be a part of my whole ensemble of guitars and equipment, And I brought up the subject of, should I just do dual humbuckers, or should I keep this as a Strat in the Strat style? I have no other Strats, and maybe I should just keep it that way. A beefy low-end Strat, And, I think I'm growing to like the lower end, the lows, the warmth, the beefiness of these strings. I think they're kind of growing on me. And the good news is these are like Diodario, like pretty much one of the greatest guitar string makers, one of the most popular, and they're only $5 or so for this set. So they're going to be fairly cheap to replace when I need to replace them. All right, guys, take care, and we will update you soon.